Celtics lose in Miami. And that's where I wanted to just start tonight. A simple question to the Boston fan base tonight, or to people in general. Which team do you feel better about tonight? Do you feel better about the Boston Bruins, or do you feel better about the Boston Celtics? Of course, the Bees go up 2-1 in the series. Celtics now even going to Miami. So, what team do you feel better about, the Bruins or the Celtics? And I mentioned this after the Bruins lost the other night with Ullmark in net. I still feel good about them winning the series. I'll say the same thing about the Celtics. I still feel good about them winning the series. But there were some things that happened tonight that, when it comes to the Celtics, first off, there were some things that happened tonight that had nothing to do with being front runners or anything to that degree. How about somebody else show up? When it comes to the Bruins, they had many guys show up tonight. And they had their number one guy show up tonight, who was being questioned all night. I was questioning him. I was starting to wonder, wow, does this guy even have it this series? And boom. Brad Marchand had the big-time goal tonight to go up 3-2 after it looked like we were going to go to overtime. And we love overtime here in the night show, let me tell you. But yes, Brad Marchand lights the lamp. They go up. And then he gets the empty netter. 2 goals. Ties Cam Neely for most playoff goals in history. He was your number one star of the night. And we should also mention the night that Jeremy Swayman had, who's now 2-0 in the series and should be the goalie going forward. Those things stand out tonight. And there was some dirty work from Trent Frederick, who scored a goal and the game-winning assist. Not to mention the Bruins tonight going 5 for 5 on the penalty kill. There were some really good things that stood out. You got your, I know Pasternak's their star guy, but their captain, Marchand, who's done it plenty of times when it comes to the playoffs, and I'll give you those numbers coming up on the other side. But getting the performance from Brad Marchand tonight when they needed it most really stood out while everyone else did the dirty work. It was really good to see. And here you go now. I don't even think there should be a question who the goaltender is coming up next. You get Thursday night off and Friday night off. You're putting Swayman in net. That's it. This is not a reflection against Ullmark. It's the fact that Swayman owns the Maple Leafs, and that's just a fact. So we'll start it off there at 617-779-0985. And now the Celtics, who lost tonight by 10 points in embarrassing fashion at home. Game 3 is on Saturday night in Miami. That was a bad loss. And it's hard to put it on their star players because one of them, I just look at it like this. I thought Tatum and Brown did what they were supposed to do. Now, as a team, shooting 37%, generally when they do that, they do struggle as a team. But tonight, I blame it on Kristaps Porzingis, who was immense in Game 1, but was a minus 32 on the court tonight. Yep, he had 8 rebounds and 4 assists and 3 steals, but 6 points from Kristaps Porzingis, who has been the difference maker all year long. Let's face it. All year long, Kristaps Porzingis was the answer. Tonight, he was a problem. The Miami Heat adjusted against him. They were more physical against him tonight. He went 0 for 4 from downtown, went 1 for 9 from the field. He got out-physicaled by Miami. It's just a fact. That's what happened. Whether it was Bam Adebayo, Kevin Love played 6 minutes tonight, but whoever was in there, they were physical with him. They were physical with him tonight. They took him completely out of the game. And this is where you come down to coaching. The Miami Heat have a coaching advantage. They had a game plan. They stuck to it. Not to mention, they played Missoula ball tonight. hitting 23 of 43 threes, shooting 54% from three. That might have something a little bit to do with the game and why they won. That's for sure. Miami, I tip my cap to you. 21 points from Caleb Martin, who was called out for the Code Red. Bam Adebayo stepping up. Tyler Herro having a big night. Chipping in with Jaime Jaquez, etc. Jovic, you name it. I tip my cap to them. Herro was 6 of 11 from downtown. Martin went 5 of 6. Highsmith had 3 for 5 off the bench. Duncan Robinson hit a couple of threes. I tip my cap to Miami tonight. They adjusted. They took Porzingis out of the game. Now it's on to game 3. You got to go on the road. We'll get into the home road splits coming up in a bit. But I ask you this before we go to break, and this was Skaz's question, so I want to give him credit for it. Who do you feel better about tonight, the Bruins or the Celtics? 617-779-0985. We'll react to the Bees win, and we'll certainly get into the Celtics loss tonight. That embarrassing on home court tonight. But again, I thought Miami adjusted. Their coach had a great game plan, and they took out Porzingis, and that was the difference. So we'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
tonight? What team do you feel better about after tonight? What team do you feel better about tonight? 617-779-0985. I feel like the Bruins deserve all the credit for this one. They held off Toronto tonight, especially in the third period, winning 4-2. They've taken now control of the series. The biggest takeaway for tonight for me was how well the Bruins played on the power play. Or excuse me, on the penalty kill. And the power play, for that matter. You look at what they did on the penalty kill tonight, 5 for 5, but 2 for 3 on the man advantage tonight. And I know one of them was the empty netter there. But Jake DeBrusk, Brad Marchand, each scored on the power play. And the penalty kill was absolutely outstanding tonight. And they made some adjustments. Well, Shattenkirk was in the lineup. Lowry was in there. He had a penalty early on. It was kind of bad. At some point, it looked like, wow, Witherspoon's got hurt. Lowry area is making a penalty. You wondered why Shattenkirk was in the game. I know we talked to Ty Anderson about maybe an adjustment tonight with him being out. But the Bruins, I think, were called for 5 penalties on the night. Again, 5 for 5 tonight. And they got great goaltending from Jeremy Swayman, who made 28 saves. And he had some big ones shorthanded. But I mentioned your 3 stars of the game. There's no doubt about it. Brad Marchand scoring his first goal of the postseason and then had the empty netter later, tying Cam Neely. That was just a boost for the team. I mean, he jumped. He scored the goal and he jumped. And I'll tell you right now, if you were being critical about Brad Marchand, you can certainly do so. But, man, he stepped up in a big time. DeBrusk added his third goal of the series to give the Bruins the 2-1 lead in the third period. The tally came on Boston's second power play of the game, and then Trent Frederick evened the score with his second goal of the postseason as well. So Bruins look to go up 2 goals here and get 2 games here and get to go to Toronto now. And I can already see the debates out there. Allmark or Swayman. I understand that they wanted to do the rotation. What has Jeremy Swayman done to not be in net in Game 4? Why doesn't he deserve? I'm going to ask that question. What has he done wrong to not start Game 4? He has been awesome. And this is no slight to Allmark whatsoever. Swayman's your guy, especially in this series. 2 days off, he's back in net. And I'm sure there's people who are going to dig their heels in and say, Allmark, absolutely, no question about it. They went to this rotation, and here we go. No. Swayman. They got the goals in front of Swayman. They don't score in front of Allmark. To me, that's an advantage for the Bruins. Sway day, baby, on Saturday night. 617-779-0985. Lee is in Plymouth. Hey, Lee, you're on the Sports Hub. Lee.
So I wanted to talk about for a parlay for a trifecta, right? Could have argued like your best bet would have been Celtics tonight, right? Out of the Red Sox and Bruins, I felt like the Celtics should have been a layup. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Red Sox played great. And the Bruins, I just felt like I watched that whole game. The Bruins absolutely dominated that team, especially in the third period. Watching that game, the Bruins were getting whacked around. Zaka took a massive hit. Pasternak took another massive hit on the same shift, literally within like 20 seconds of each other. They grinded through it. And they ended up winning the game. It was a great game.
Yeah. That was not a strong call tonight. Did you get all that? I think we covered every sport. Covered every sport on that one. We're here until midnight, guys. We're here until midnight tonight. Bruins win. Hey, who do you want in that, Skaz?
I'd like to see it be Swayman. Ride the hot hand. He's been great against Toronto. And I know it kind of sucks for Omar because he didn't do anything wrong. I thought he was pretty good, honestly, in game 2. But if a guy's 2-0 in a series, I think you got to ride him.
My whole thing is the team scores in front of him. And I know tonight was a pivotal game. I get it. Are they really? Okay, so Omar plays, it's 2-2. You go back to Boston, and you're just going to just play Swayman in game 5, and you move Omar back to game 6? Like, is that really what they're going to do? Take the goalie out of it tonight. You got scoring from guys you needed it to. DeBrusque, Marchand, Frederick. That was impressive to me. The special teams tonight was really good. Scoring on the power play. All penalty kills stopped. You get great goaltending. To me, the Bruins are the better team in this series. I know that we look at it and look at all the offensive numbers that Toronto has. All the offensive numbers. But the Bees are a better team. They were without 2 defensemen tonight. They changed it up on defense. They adjusted. I thought Toronto adjusted very well after game 2, packing it in. The big rebound that happened tonight was a goal. Something that they've been struggling to do is get rebounds, which is one of the adjustments Toronto did. And I think it was Marchand that was off the rebound, but Heinen really played well in that. Really dug it in the corner, found Marchand, he blasted it for the goal. Again, nice little jump in the air. And a nice little moment to see Cam Neely's face up there after the goal. So your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We're going to get you updated now in the headlines, and we might as well look at the Celtics and look into it in the night that they had. And, of course, we're going to get in on the Bruins as well, who win tonight. And we'll tell you the scores right now in headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Bruins win 4-2 tonight. 2 goals from Brad Marchand. Trent Frederick with a goal and an assist. And Jeremy Swayman tonight, big game. 28 saves, now 2-0 in the series. They're up 2-1 in the series with game 4. All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Been asking it all night. What do you feel better about right now? Bruins or the Celtics? And I know people want to point to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I'm not. Just like I'm not blaming Ullmark for losing the other night. But Jeremy Swayman post-game tonight asked about starting game 4. His quote, "Personally, I don't want rest. I just want to keep playing." I feel you, kid. I feel you. This rotation, it's, again, uncharted waters, right? Never seen it before. Ullmark really hasn't done anything to lose his job either. Swayman certainly hasn't. One's 2-0 in the series. The other's 0-1. They score more goals in front of... They've scored 9 goals in front of Swayman. 9. I care about that. I do, at least. Montgomery says he's going to do the rotation. Is it really going to be Ullmark, who now is going to have 3 days rest? Tonight, Thursday, Friday, and play Saturday? In a way, that might get Ullmark into the mix. The fact that you don't want him sitting too long. So that probably is that. If you are in the argument of Ullmark, there you go. There you go. You don't want him getting cold. You want him staying fresh. But doesn't that mean Swayman now sits longer too? Isn't he now out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Interesting situation here. I don't want to be the guy in charge of this one. I think he's been consistent. I go Swayman. But I'd rather that and have Ullmark ready to go. But we'll see how it all goes. 617-779-0985. I'll see you guys on the phones. We'll get to you in a minute here. If you're looking at the Celtics game tonight, I know it's easy to point at some certain guys. Specifically, people are going to look directly at Jason Tatum's night. I'm going to tell you right now, look in another direction. You're not going to hear it on this show tonight. There are some numbers I can give you that don't favor Tatum's night whatsoever. There are. There's just other areas you need to look at. There are other areas you need to look at. I'm not on Brown and Tatum tonight for this one. I'm just not. And you can certainly react to it at 617-779-0985. So we have that on the table. Goalie. And who do you feel better about? We'll do that until midnight tonight. Let's go back to the phones here. We got Kevin in Roslindale. Hey, Kevin.
Oh, Joey, what's happening?
How you doing?
Good to hear from you. Hang on one second. You caught me off guard. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so, all right. I know you didn't like my take last time I called in on Tatum not being the guy, but, man, I want him to be the guy. He's not the guy, right?
I don't blame him for tonight's loss.
I don't blame him either. I think he should. And we were talking the last time I called about the last shot. He should be the guy. I don't think he's the guy. I said Porzingis or even Pritchard. I know it sounds way out there, but I don't see him as clutch. But I digress. Tonight, let's talk about those Bruins, right, and the Celtics. I can totally see why you're going with Swayman and why you want Swayman to start. He looks phenomenal. But neither are proven starters. Every game starters, right?
Ullmark's done it before, but yeah, go ahead. Oh, we lost him. Allmark's done it before. He played consecutive games a year ago. I don't know what happened there. Our phones have been wild tonight. Weird wild. But Skaz, to bring you in on this one, I am being realistic about the fact that you do have to look at the long-term rest. Didn't we talk about this after the All-Star break this year? They went to Swayman right away, and he wasn't rested. And then when they went to Allmark, he had a shutout in the next game, but it was the every other that started to creep in a little bit when they had their struggles. To me, it's hard to go away from when I think of the team. I think of the team. And I think in front of Swayman, the guys score goals. And I'm not saying they don't want to score against Allmark. I just think there's momentum there. And don't you want Swayman to take the bull by the horn? Can we talk about this already?
Yeah, if you want Swayman to be the guy, let him be the guy. He wants it. He's 2-0 in the series. Why go away from him? You're asking for something to go wrong.
Now, do you think Jim Montgomery's consistent? Or will stay consistent here? Like, what has Allmark done wrong?
Nothing. No, he was good.
Yeah. I think Swayman's been better.
But this is why the goalie rotation puts them in a tough spot, because it's almost a lose-lose for them. They start Swayman, they lose 2-1, they get crushed. They start Allmark, they lose, 4-3 or whatever, crushed.
But yet they've scored 9 goals in Swayman games, and they've scored, 2 in Allmark's games. To me, I like the 9 goals, Skaz. I like the 2-0 record. I like the guys, the secondary scoring that played. The buzz you got from Marchand. I want that. But has it already been told to these guys what it's going to happen? Are they going to every other? How about this one? Do you think the special teams tonight can continue that with Allmark in net?
I think it's a lot to ask for them to go 5 for 5 on the PK.
Me too.
That's a lot to ask. And they were great tonight. I mean, DeBrusk after the game, they asked him, they said, "Did you know you played 3 minutes shorthanded tonight?" And he said, "Well, I guess that's why I'm so gassed right now." So that's a lot to ask.
As Harry Sindano, he said, every team has a DeBrusk.
And I do like all the quotes coming out from the Toronto camp are them complaining about Marchand drawing penalties. Marchand drew 0 penalties tonight.
He drew 0. You held a guy's stick and he couldn't get off the ice in the last game, and there was a too many men on the ice penalty. Like literally holding the guy's stick so he couldn't get off the ice.
Toronto.
And I give Toronto credit for it. We talked about this in the last game. They packed it in. They weren't allowing rebounds. How did Marchand score tonight? It was on the rebound, but it was because Frederick was doing work. Heinen was coming around, made the really nice pass on a great shot.
And Marchand put it absolutely short side, top corner.
But those guys did the dirty work. He had to do his job. Shoot it, find the back of the net, and that's what he did. Topher, how you doing? You in the car?
No, dude, I'm home.
Oh.
I'm listening to you on the web, and then I also have you watching on YouTube. So I can see
haven't even looked at YouTube tonight. I apologize. I got to look at the.
Oh my God! You should see. The chat is blowing up.
What's going on in there? What's everyone talking about tonight?
No, your boy Humperdink's in there. He's
Humperdink. Chuck Olson, Riz. I see in there.
Yeah.
Wow, we got a crew. Pez.
Oh yeah.
Shooter.
It's always a good time on YouTube.
Yeah. So you called in about DeBrusk the other night. How'd you feel about him tonight?
Actually, my thing. I'm actually going to talk sports tonight.
All right.
I'm going to leave the food out for a second, dude. I need Swayman in Game 4, and I said it in chat. I'll say it to you and say it to everybody. Yes, Allmark did look good in Game 2, but he kind of looked a little lost. He didn't seem comfortable. He didn't seem like in his presence, like normally when you see him like during the year. But I do know to the fact that Swayman has been like that confident carry that you need in net, because that's what drives the boys. That's what gets them going. That's what I want to see in this game, and that's what actually is probably going to like annihilate Toronto.
Hey Topher, you appreciate this one? A guy tweeted at me this. This goalie situation feels like a classic sitcom where a guy has 2 dates and they all just go to the same restaurant by mistake.
It's like something out of Seinfeld.
I want Swayman too, but it's nothing to do with Allmark. It's nothing to do with him. It's about they score when Swayman's in net. They score. It's a priority. Their defense, their special teams is better. They kill penalties better
because they have trust in their goalie. I think to the fact that like the positivity that Swayman has and the confidence he has in net is going to carry them in a better standing. For whatever reason, when you have Allmark in there, it's kind of soft.
And I'll be correct because our frequent emailer, Neil, says that it's 7 goals. They don't want to count the 2 goals for the empty netter. So fine, they've scored 7, and Swayman starts in 2 in Allmark's.
Listen, goals when the goals go over the line, they're a goal. If it moves the number, it's a goal. Whether the goalie's in there or not, it's a goal.
All right, Topher. Appreciate your sports takes tonight.
All right,
man. Topher usually has a food thing in there, but, tonight, I don't know. I don't know how my belly feels tonight after these games, Usually I want to eat my feelings. Something on the way home tonight. You're leaving the Celtics game tonight. I think you have the right to be pissed.
All those people are home already.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the phones were wild tonight because we got so many that we got one guy back here tonight. All right, we I know everyone's trying to react, but we're trying to get sound and do things, and there's 2 games and whatever. So I'm sure we missed everybody leaving a little early tonight. Yeah, you're right. All the Celtics fans are home already, Skaz. They don't even want to. You know what, though? There are those people who don't listen after a loss, I will say this, though, because I do want to get into some Celtics on the other side here. I don't blame Jason Tatum. I don't blame Jaylen Brown. They're the guys that are going to take all the blame. I swear we're going to take calls for the next hour. Tatum's just not the guy. Tatum's not the guy. Look at who you acquired this year by trade. Look who you acquired this year to be the best team in the NBA. Look at the upgrades that they got to be better in the playoffs and be better against or better help for Tatum and Brown. Who did they acquire? What are the names of the guys they acquired to be the best team in the NBA? Who are those names? Who are those names? Those are the guys you should be looking at. Don't give me Tatum. Don't give me Brown. They acquired 2 players. One won a championship. The other's been their 3rd best player all year. They were no-shows tonight. Absolutely no show. So if you come at me with Tatum or Brown, you're out. And on that note, we'll go to break. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening.
All right, back here in 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. We're here till midnight tonight. Thanks to all our listeners tonight on YouTube. Skaz, we're up over 80 at the moment. Listeners tonight. It's a big night for us. We still got the collar chair going. We got to work on a mannequin for that one. And I'm sorry for some of the people I didn't shout out. Matt, I didn't shout him out. I know some people wanted. Dave's not here, man. With 2 A's. He's in there. But a lot of people, the chat's bumping tonight. People have their thoughts. People aren't happy about the Celtics. They are happy about the Bruins. There's talk about Swayman and Ullmark. And I did get a little spicy in the last segment. I did. And whether I say hero or hero or Yairo or Euro or Naki or whatever, don't blame Tatum and Brown. Don't do it tonight. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. I'll tell you who to blame coming up in just a little bit here. We got Matt. He's in Braintree. Hey, Matt, you're on the Sports Hub.
Hey, Joe. For the whole year, all I've been listening to is, the Celtics are so great. And I've been calling. I know no one cares that I call. I'm just using it as an example. This team is never going to win anything. And I'm telling you, they don't have the intensity. They don't have the balls. You can't lose to this team in this series at all, nevertheless at home, okay? This team has a bye week, has the equivalent of an NFL bye week for the Eastern Conference.
Hey, Matt, real quick. I know you're going on. You're getting ramped up right now.
Yeah, I am.
Will you tip your cap to the Heat and Eric Spoelstra for adjusting, playing more physical, and going three-pointer for three-pointer with the Celtics and shooting 57% tonight, dude?
Like, I won't because they don't have their best player.
Tip your cap. Tip your cap.
Do it.
Do it. You know why?
I'm sorry.
Because, when the other team shoots 54%, right?
No, you're right.
54%. They outcoached them tonight. Spoelstra they outcoached them. Like, come on. Don't say they don't have balls. Don't say they don't have the heart. They got outcoached. They literally got outcoached and outplayed. It has nothing to do with balls. It's about actual adjustments. They thought they could show up tonight and beat Miami. That's what they thought. Their coach got outcoached, and the players they traded for got completely taken out of the mix. So don't talk about balls. Don't give me that other crap. The two guys they brought in were no-shows tonight. No show.
And that's what I'm saying. That can't happen at this point. Not after 5 years of watching this team get crowned as like the greatest, the next best NBA team. And, I mean, you just can't lose against this team, Joe. I don't care how good they coach or how good they are.
You can't lose like this. You can't lose like this, right? Don't give me front runners. Don't give me Tatum. Don't give me Brown. You acquired 2 players this year and upgraded the team. And I'm going to give you the numbers of those 2 players tonight. That's who you should be looking at. That is who you should point to. And you should look at the coach for getting outcoached tonight. Fact. That happened. They got outcoached. Outcoached. Can you hear me, Joe? Are you watching the town on the way home? Pat Riley and Spoelstra, they know how to stop Missoula ball because they played it themselves tonight and beat you. Don't give me the balls, heart, courage, none of that. The players that surround Brown and Tatum, the players that surround them were no shows. No shows. No shows. They got applauded. They've won championships. Blah, blah, blah. No shows. Tatum and Brown, at least we know this, they haven't been able to do it on their own. And tonight, they both showed up. Tatum didn't have the greatest night, but who the hell was helping him tonight? 617-779-0985. Spicy enough for you going into the final hour? Let's do it. Get the headlines here, no commercials, and we'll get right into it. And the code red. How'd the code red work? We'll get into that next.
WBCFM HD1 from the Town Fair Tire Studios, the home of the Patriots, the Celtics, the Revs, and the Bruins. Boston's home for sports is 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Bruins win 4-2. They get 2 goals from Brad Marchand, 28 saves from Jeremy Swayman, and a goal and an assist from Trent Frederick. They're now up 2-1 in the series. Swayman's 2-0. They won't play again until Saturday night. Some other scores in the NHL. Right now, tie game between Vegas and Dallas, 12 minutes to go. And after one period, LA is up 3-1 on Edmonton. The Miami Heat defeated the Boston Celtics tonight, 111-100. They were led by a bunch of guys. Caleb Martin, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, 24 points tonight. He's shot 6 of 11 from 3 as a team. They shot 54% from downtown. Jaylen Brown had 33 points. Jason Tatum had 28. Not another player besides Derek White was in double figures. Some other NBA scores tonight. Oklahoma City leads New Orleans 66-52, and the Red Sox got a shutout 8-0 win over Cleveland. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
Al Horford.
This is Al Horford.
Al Horford catching slam. Horford for 3.
You're listening to the home of Boston Celtics basketball. 98.5, the Sports.
Lost tonight, 111-109. Things were fine in the first quarter. Miami led 28-27. Celtics won the second quarter. They were up 3. They had an 18-point third quarter. And then Miami basically took care of business in the fourth. I will say this. The Celtics got out to a really good lead tonight, let them back in the game. But the Miami Heat played Missoula ball tonight. They ran. They left the paint wide open for the Celtics, and they attacked early on. I think they had like 14, 15 points inside the paint. Played right into their hands, right? Played right into their hands. The Celtics stopped opting to shoot for threes. They started going into the paint. And then at times when they went inside to the paint to Kristaps Porzingis, he was double-teamed by multiple people, whether it was Bam Adebayo or Jovic or one of these guys. So if you want to put blame on anyone, and I will not do the no heart thing, this team's not going to win. Nope, that's not the case at all. Tatum and Brown did what they had to do tonight. I'm not saying Tatum was perfect, but when Jaylen Brown gives you 33 points and 4 for 9 from downtown on 13 to 23 shooting, in 33 points, I look at that, and then I look at what Tatum did. Although between the both of them, they had 5 turnovers, which I guess between the two of them having the ball so much isn't so bad. And for a night, the way that they played, Tatum was a +8. He had 28 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. The free throws bother me. He went 2 for 6 from downtown. The issue tonight was 2 players. Number 1, Kristaps Porzingis. 30 minutes. 1 of 9, 0 for 4 from downtown. Really didn't. He had 8 boards, but you didn't notice it. He was passing more. He got double teamed, would kick it out, 4 assists, had the 3 steals as well, had 2 big blocks, had 2 turnovers, had 3 fouls. He was awful defensively tonight. He gave you 6 points. Kristaps Porzingis gave you 6 points tonight. Don't tell me it's Hart. Don't tell me Tatum and Brown don't have it. Don't give me any of that. You traded for Kristaps Porzingis to beat the zone, to be a guy you could go to as a third scorer, to be a guy that could dominate inside the post, and tonight he was a ghost. He got abused. He got out-physicaled tonight. He got double-teamed in the post. Right? There were times where he would get double-teamed, kick it out right away. A player would go right to the hoop. They'd settle for 2. Miami would come right back down and shoot a 3. The Celtics played into the hands tonight of the game plan for the Heat. Like the Heat wanted them to go into the lane. They did. But then Miami would shoot the 3. Again, I tip my cap tonight. Joe Mazzulla never adjusted at all. And completely went away from Porzingis once it wasn't working. It was like, all right, this guy doesn't work. Let's just do Tatum and Brown all night long. And again, I give Brown credit for going to the hoop. He also shot pretty well, 4 for 9 from downtown. Porzingis' number 1 reason why this team lost tonight. He was a no-show. The Heat took him out. He did nothing defensively. And if you look at Game 1, Porzingis was all the difference. Porzingis was the reason why they played the way that they did. So if you want to go at anybody tonight, you go at Kristaps Porzingis number 1. And I'm sure you can throw numbers about Tatum or whatever. If you want to throw Brown stuff at me, fine. Tatum and Brown, so far, let's just be honest. Let's be transparent. They haven't been able to do it themselves. They can get there. They can get there. They can't do it themselves. So what do? They made a big trade this offseason. They moved on from Marcus Smart and got Kristaps Porzingis. It's one of the reasons why they were the best team in the NBA this year. He was a no-show tonight. They out-physicaled him. They took him out of the game. That's Pat Riley. That's Spoelstra. Joe Mazzulla never adjusted tonight, ever. He got completely outcoached. Completely outcoached. It had nothing to do with being front runners or a three-point shooting team or any of that stuff. They played right into the hands of the game plan. They stopped settling for threes and went to the basket, but Miami shot so well from three tonight playing Mazzulla ball. Shooting 54% tonight to the 37.5, which is, you know what? Normally when the Celtics shoot like that, they still in games and still at least have won games. I know that they struggle generally with the number of 40% or less. They went under 40% tonight. And by the way, one other guy that I don't want to let off the hook tonight is Drew Holiday. Right? The big move that they got. Right? The big move, the big extension that they had. Kristaps Porzingis, again, you can look at him. They took him out of it. But Drew Holiday in his 9 points and 4 of 12 from the field and 1 of 4 from downtown, he was meaningless tonight. And I know that you look at his plus-minus, and he was a plus 12 and had some nice little defensive plays tonight. You can't get 9 points from Holiday if Porzingis is not showing up. Just, again, don't call here talking about Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown or the team not having balls or not having heart. It's none of that. They got outcoached and outplayed by Miami tonight by their own style. People think you can't win in the league the way the Celtics do. The biggest problem with the Celtics is adjustments, and it's from their coach. And that's what happened. They took Porzingis out. They were more physical, and they never adjusted from it. But you need more from Drew Holiday. Yeah, Drew Holiday makes a lot of money, gets a lot of praise, and is a hell of a defender and a really good corner three-point guy. You need more than 9 points from a guy who's a leader, a guy who's been there before. You need more than that. You got 15 points tonight from Porzingis and Holiday. Look at those guys. Don't look at Tatum. Don't look at Brown. The two guys that they made trades for to upgrade this year were no-shows, and it's a fact, and I might say it for the next 40 minutes. Porzingis, Holiday, no-shows. No-shows, Porzingis, Holiday. Holiday, Porzingis. No show. Did not show up tonight. Did not show up tonight in the playoffs. The reason why you got them. The team was outcoached, outplayed tonight. But just don't give me the reason that it was Tatum and Brown. Stop. 617-779-0985. Anything to add to that, Skess? A little spicy there.
I like Spicy Joe. The Jeremy Conley has chimed in on Spicy Joe as well.
Yeah. Oh, he has.
Also a fan.
Oh, what do you say?
Maybe something in the works for later on in the summer. But yeah, a workshop.
Oh, really? Oh, I like that.
Spicy Joe.
What'd you think of the game?
Yeah, for me, Porzingis, Holiday, and Mazzulla are the three main factors why tonight didn't go the Celtics' way. Porzingis had his worst game as a Celtic, maybe his worst game in the NBA in the last couple of years tonight. Awful timing, obviously, mostly because of Spoelstra adjustments. I mean, we were watching it together. Some of the double teams they were throwing at him in the post, he normally finds a way out of, and he wasn't tonight. So I wonder if there was a wrinkle they were throwing at him that he just wasn't used to. And Holiday, I mean, I know he's not here to be an offensive weapon, but he needs to give you more than he did tonight. He has to at least put some fear into Miami. Tatum and Brown, obviously not good enough, but I didn't think they were the problem tonight. I thought they both played good enough. If everyone else around them just, played their norm. If everyone else is just average around them, the Celtics win this game. But Porzingis was awful. Holiday was bad. And like you said, Derek White was the only other guy in double figures.
He sucked tonight, too. I won't let him off the hook either.
I think the scarier part, if you're a Celtics fan, is the defense. Is letting them get that many threes, that many open threes, and just letting they, like you said, they played Missoula ball.
They played Missoula ball and were more physical. So
now Joe Missoula has to look in the mirror and say, how would I stop myself, basically, and hope he can make those adjustments.
I'm telling you, I think the guy they need, I know Porzingis probably is the answer, but if other guys are going to have struggles, they need Drew Holiday to do more. Like, we credit Holiday at times for being, he only had 9 points tonight, but played hell defense on, so-and-so. Nope. They need Drew Holiday to be a double-figure scorer if other guys are struggling. They need Drew Holiday to be better than that. There's numbers regarding Holiday and Porzingis that I want to get into here on the other side. But let's talk to Jack. He's in Worcester. What's up, Jack?
Hey, Joe. What's happening? I think you nailed it. With the Giroux. This guy it doesn't make any sense. I feel like the coaching prohibits him from doing what he does. He doesn't ever have the ball in his hand. He doesn't get to make plays. But my real call was about Sam Cassell and Jeff Van Gundy. I don't understand all these. Maybe the in-game adjustments is totally on Missoula. Obviously, I don't know how the locker room works, but I don't know what Sam Cassell's doing. And then these, in between the games, like you would think Van Gundy would have something to say. And this has happened constantly all year long with these adjustments. Just never get made. They never get a chance to figure it out. So I'm just curious what you think about that. Thanks for the call.
I tip my cap to Miami. That's what I do. They had a game plan. They were ready for it. They wanted to be more physical. They actually gave the middle of the court up. Because if you watched, it was Bam Adebayo playing on the perimeter. The Celtics couldn't do anything really on the perimeter. And then maybe it was because Adebayo was up top, or Jovic, or whoever it was up top, or on the perimeter. But they gave the paint to the Celtics. And the Celtics, like there was a play tonight where I watched Pritchard, and I don't want to be hard on him. Like, he's been fine. He's actually had a pretty decent stretch here, but he played 19 minutes with 0 points. But there was a couple of times where I watched Pritchard up fake, get the guy off his feet, dribble into the paint, saw someone come over quickly and pass it to the other corner and missed three. And there was another one where he gets right into the paint, but passes it to Porzingis, who shoots an open three, misses. So, yes, they were giving them the lane. They were literally giving them the lane, and at times they weren't taking it. And then at times when they were taking it, Miami would come right back down and nail a three. Like, Miami got in the transition and set up perimeter offense tonight from their perimeter defense. But really, let's just face it. Missoula couldn't adjust. They couldn't go into Porzingis anymore, and Holiday gave you nothing else. So Brown's getting into the paint, and Tatum's doing everything else. They got help from no one. Like, to me, a guy I probably would have went back to was Hauser. Oh, Joe, sir, Hauser's not going to be one. Yeah, but you know what, though? He knocks down threes. He keeps you in the game. And I thought Horford could have played a little bit more tonight. 23 minutes, 6 points, 2 or 3 from the field. He had 8 rebounds and 3 assists. You know what's funny? The bench guys besides Pritchard were all in the pluses tonight, not in the minus. When things get tough for the Celtics, people blame Tatum and Brown. Tonight, I blame Porzingis, Holiday, and Joe Missoula for not adjusting. I got some numbers for you on the other side here, 617-779-0985, and we'll read some of the chat as well next.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
A bunch of people watching. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight on YouTube. It's real easy to do. Just go to youtube.com. You'll see 98.5 The Sports Hub right there. Click it. You can watch some of our other stuff. We had an interview last night with Big Baby Davis. And I wrote an article on 98.5thesportshub.com today. And one of his quotes was that if Tatum and Brown don't win this year, they should split it up. I'm not blaming Tatum and Brown for this one tonight. I'm not even panicking. I still think they're the better team. Tonight was a wake-up call, though. Tonight was a wake-up call for the Green. And just so you know, this will be forgotten once we get to the draft tomorrow night and round 2 on Friday, because Saturday night they're going to be in Miami. There's no way Miami shoots 54% again. I just don't see it happening. I'd bet on it. I would bet on that. Now, the people want to say Tatum isn't great. What were Brown and Tatum supposed to do when they got 15 points from Porzingis and Drew Holiday? I asked that question. I really ask you that. The easiest thing for me to do is sit in this chair and say, Tatum doesn't have it, he has no heart, da-da-da-da-da. And that's not the case at all. He was good tonight. And I know that you could look at it and say there was some struggles here or some of his numbers were bad. You want to hear some bad numbers? Let's look at this one. Kristaps Porzingis in their Celtics playoff debuts. I saw this from Greeny earlier tonight. Barstool Greeny. Porzingis is 8 for 22 from the field. He's 4 for 12 from 3. He's shooting 36% from the field and 33 from 3. Fine. Tonight he wasn't good. He was 0 for 4. Drew Holiday, 6 for 20 from the field, 3 for 8 from downtown. It's 30 and 37%. You need more from these guys. I thought Porzingis was real. Porzingis was the difference in game 1. He was everything. But in 2 games, Drew Holiday, he hasn't even made a dent in the series at all. Before you start Tatum, before you start Brown, or even Mazzulla for that matter, look at the 2 acquisitions that were going to put them over the top. The 2 acquisitions that everybody loved this year. Oh, I had a Porgy all year. Oh, Drew Holiday, oh, the great signing. Oh, yeah, they're going to go for it. What's he done? What has Drew Holiday done? What's he done? I'm waiting. What's he done? Now, there are some things I like about his game, right? He can defend 1 through 5 if you want him to. He's a great corner 3 guy. He can handle the basketball. Can he score the ball more, though? Can you score the ball when Tatum and Brown are doing everything they can? Like, you're getting 60 points plus from your 2 best players. And you're getting 15 from the 2 other guys who make really good money and were brought here to make a difference. So stop with the Tatum and Brown stuff. They need help. That's why they got these guys. They need help. They're not getting it. It's annoying. Paul's in Hingham. Hey, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Actually, after listening to you and thinking about it, I am actually less confident of the Celtics' chances. I mean, this is their record win for a regular season. Is it 62? Or
I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't hear the last part.
Didn't they have a record year as far as the wins go this year?
They had the 4th best win regular season record in his team history, yep.
Oh, okay. It reminds me of another team that did extremely well in Boston last year and then plunked out. I just think that you nailed it, is that Eric Spoelstra, out-coached and out-thought. And, he's just a smarter guy than Mazzulla. And I'm actually kind of concerned. If they having trouble about a Jimmy Butler-esque Miami, how are they going to do next round?
Yeah, I'm not looking ahead that far. I'm sure it's okay to feel that way. I don't think pace. If you want to bring up pace, the pace tonight was Mazzulla ball. Defend the perimeter. Shoot the 3. That's what Miami did tonight. I feel like I'm pretty unbiased, right? I like being critical of the teams. I think at times it keeps you on your toes. You're always looking for something, some sort of angle. Tonight, I tip my cap to Miami. Like, people just want to say, oh, they don't have it. They're not, this team can't do it, blah, 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 blah. Like everything you guys think. That's not the case. Miami outplayed you. Miami played your asses is what happened tonight. Playing Missoula ball. Oh, they'll leave the paint wide open. They go into the paint and then would kick it out or miss the easy bunny. I hate to use the analogy here, but remember when the Patriots would play Peyton Manning and they'd play that like prevent look where Manning would check out of a pass play and run the ball? That's what Miami did tonight to the Celtics. They left the paint wide open. They took their big man and put him at the perimeter and made it difficult for the short shooters to shoot tonight. That's what happened. Derek White struggled. We already mentioned Holiday. I mean, Peyton Pritchard, again, gave you nothing off the bench tonight. You didn't even see Al Horford later in the game. And Hauser played 15 minutes, was shooting well, and you didn't even go back to him. Like, you kept trying to feed it to Porzingis, who was getting bullied in the post. Never adjusted. Never put Tatum in the post. Never put Brown in the post. Never tried something different. Never went with a different adjustment. This is the biggest thing with me with Missoula. Do I think that they can front run their way to a championship? I still do. But when the other team shoots 50%, what do you do? What do you do? How about trying to get the other team in foul trouble? How about you take out the big man? Just go little. I would have liked to have seen more Tatum in the post, but that's not his fault. They don't set it up for him there. How about Drew Holiday in a post? Put him on somebody. The perimeter defense tonight allowed the team to throw it into Porzingis, where he would get double teamed and then look for a pass. Someone would shoot a wide open three, miss. Or they'd go to the hole and kick it out. They played right into their hands. Spoelstra, he was the difference. And not to mention, I want to get into this one on the other side. And then we'll get back to the Bruins because it's happy stuff. Oh, and I haven't even mentioned the draft that's tomorrow. Remember the old Code Red? Code Red? How'd that work? How'd that one work out tonight? We'll take a quick break. We'll get the headlines here. We'll talk to you guys after this.
Sports Hub headlines.
Bruins 4-2 winners tonight. They got 2 goals from Brad Marchand. They got a goal from Trent Frederick and an assist. And Jeremy Swayman the win tonight. He's now 2-0 in the playoffs. They'll play Saturday night up 2-1 in the series. Some other NHL right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. Some numbers I wanted to give you coming up in a bit here. I already went. Have I beat up on Kristaps Porzingis enough tonight, or Drew Holiday? Like, Porzingis got out physical. Just, it's more. I think I'm more upset about Drew Holiday's game. Like, he's kind of found a role to just step aside, lead, hit shots at times to help the team stop runs, helps out defensively. Like, I don't want to say he's gotten a pass here because he has been good. To make 30, oh man, I just did my own pet peeve. I bring up money a lot when it comes to players. But you traded for Drew Holiday to get over the hump. You need him to play like he wants the team to get over the hump. So I'm almost a little more upset with his game. Porzingis didn't have it tonight. You needed more out of him. White struggled trying to overcompensate. He's not that type of player. And I think if you want to look at Tatum's struggles, for those who want to bring up Tatum, he absolutely overcompensated because they had no help at all. Like Jaylen Brown, I give him credit for hitting the threes, but he had those points because they wanted him to drive to the hoop. That was the game plan. And here's a quote from Jaylen Brown tonight. This on the Heat's ability to have a big shooting night versus the Celtics. A common theme. They're well coached, number one. They put together a good game plan, number two. They feel confident and they executed. 3. Went on to say, I just thought they made a lot of shots that we were comfortable with. It's the playoffs. It is what it is. We got to respond. I like the mentality because I think he knows they got outcoached. I think he knows they had a good game plan. And I think he knows that they were confident and that they executed that game plan. I think he knows that. He knows they're a good team. And now he knows that they have to respond. Great quote. Went on to say how he feels about how the Celtics handled the Heat's physicality. I think we did a good job of handling the physicality. I don't think we executed the best. Is this him calling out Missoula, Skess, any of these quotes? He states what came down to the difference in how the two teams shot tonight. Also on how they need to respond in Game 3. He says, come back, be the harder playing next game, execute, that's it. Everything else will take care of itself. We got to win the fight. But just talking about being well coached in game plans and executing and being confident makes me feel like he's calling out his own coach. Interesting quotes there from one Jaylen Brown. 617-779-0985. How about that code red? The one that Brian Scalabrine, after the game, thought that was Pat Riley sending a message, or the Heat sending a message to Jason Tatum. I don't feel like anybody on the team felt that way, but it made its way through the media, obviously, through the airwaves here and throughout the series on the day off. How did Caleb Martin play tonight? How did he respond as a guy that was criticized for for a dirty play? 36 minutes, 7 of 12 from the field, 5 of 6 from downtown. He had 21 points tonight. Yep, you woke up that beast, didn't you? You woke up that beast. Didn't play well at all. Sends a message. They responded. They executed. Credit to Bam Adebayo tonight. He had 21 points with no threes. Yeah, he missed a couple of 10 rebounds. He was physical tonight, a plus 18. And then Tyler Hero. I'm going to call him Hero now to piss everybody off. 24 points, 7 of 13 from the field, 6 of 11 from 3. Do you know what else Tyler Hero did tonight? How about 14 assists? How about you not let someone pass the ball to somebody else 14 times and score? Who's that on? Can I go back at Drew Holiday again? Can I do that? Can I do that one more time? Drew Holiday, how do you let Tyler Hero have 14 assists and 24 points tonight. It's supposed to be the best defensive backcourt in the NBA. And what did you do? You let Jaime Jaquez go off for 14 points tonight, and you let Herro have 24 points and 14 assists. 14 assists? And you let him shoot 6 for 11 from downtown. The best backcourt in the NBA got completely outplayed tonight, and Joe Mazzulla got outcoached by Spoelstra. But the code red. Yep, they were sending a message. They were just sending a message tonight. The old code red. So anyways, we got the Bruins on the table. Celtics lose tonight. Red Sox won 8-0. And, the NFL draft is tomorrow night. And we have a big one for you tomorrow night here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Myself, Alex Barth will be with you for the first pick. And then we're going to have a bunch of other guests. We'll be at Splitsville at Patriot Place tomorrow night. We'll be there all night long, probably till 11 o'clock. If it goes longer, we'll be there. But we'll have YouTube. We're going to have the guys back here helping us out. Anything that happens, trades, selections, you name it, we'll have it all for you. We got a big show planned. And again, this is something I think Alex Barth has been really, really doing a big job doing. I know enough. I follow college football religiously. I have my opinion on a lot of these players. I'm sure if I tell you a kid is good in college, it doesn't mean he's going to be good in the NFL. But what do the Patriots do at number 3 overall? I do have a pick. Well, you got something for me, Scaz?
Yeah, just to add on to all the coverage we'll have tomorrow, we will also still be live on YouTube, and we're going to have a what sounds like a very nice, well-done professional setup tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. So sometimes when we go on the road, we're reliant on Joe's laptop. That will not be the case tomorrow. We're all hands on deck for the draft show. I'm really looking forward to it. So, all night we'll be here.
Yeah, we got our team, our digital team, setting up some cameras. It's new, man. And again, tonight, I think we had like over a couple hundred people looking at the chat tonight. Oh, there's Michael Mahoney again. Michael Mahoney was upset that he couldn't get through tonight, and we apologize. But he also feels as though Jeremy Swayman can't play 3 games in a week. Can't play 3 games in a week. So I wanted to just look into this because I just saw this come over a little while ago. So if the series happens to go 7 games, right? The Swayman had 4 days rest before game 1. Game 3 tonight, he had 3 days rest. So if he doesn't play game 4, he'll play game 5 on 5 days rest. Does that sound right? And then he'll play game 7 on 3 days rest. Where Allmark, if he plays game 2, it'll be 5 days rest. After game 2, 5 days rest. If he plays game 4, it'll be 4 days rest. And if he plays game 6, it'll be 4 days rest. Do goalies really need that much time off?
Let me just add on to that, this from our very own Ty Anderson. Swayman, in his second start, when getting consecutive starts this season, 5 wins and a .926 save percentage in 6 games, including 5 straight victories. Sounds like he can handle it.
That sounds good. That's good.
So he lost the first time they went to him twice in a row, and since then, he's won 5 in a row.
Because he doesn't want to get taken out.
And he has a .926 save percentage.
He doesn't. He said it tonight. He wants to play.
It's his net.
Stop hugging, then. Did they hug tonight?
Oh, they hugged.
They hugged. The predecessor didn't like hockey line handshakes. He was out on that.
Oh, yes. Not a fan. Not a fan of the handshakes.
That one. But I'll tell you, though, the goalie hug, out for the playoffs. I don't think there should be goalie hugs in the playoffs, guys. We can do this one another night.
I was going to say, well, I'll let them hug if they're winning. If they're winning, hug it up.
In or out? on goalie hugs in the playoffs. Okay, here's the deal. Is Allmark's feelings going to get hurt if he doesn't start game 4?
It doesn't matter.
I don't care.
Swayman is the future.
Swayman's the
guy.
future. They score in front of him. He owns Toronto. And you know what? He hasn't lost since playing back-to-back, right? Lost the first one, hasn't lost since. I'd bet on that.
5 straight victories with a .926 save percentage. I'd say that's pretty good.
Pretty good. By the way, we did get a chance to talk about this, but who was it? Was it Steve Ballmer and the dude from I Think You Should Leave were having a conversation?
Yes, Tim Robinson and Steve. There are a lot of conversations I'd like to be able to listen into. That would be near the top of the list because Steve Ballmer acts like an I Think You Should Leave character in real life.
I thought about how do I get 300 words out of that. I thought about that on the way in. How do I get 300 words about what Tim Robinson and Steve Ballmer could be talking about?
Ballmer telling him he needs 55 rebounds, 55 assists.
Still, do we have that? Can we just go to break with that? So for those who haven't heard it, I'm sure you know the old bit, the pay it forward bit. You go up to a drive-through line, person in front of you pays for your coffee, and then you pay for the coffee for the person behind you. Well, Tim Robinson, he had a different approach to pay it forward, and we'll go to break with that one.
Hi, can I take your order? 55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.
Okay, that'll be $680.
Okay.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray.
right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. We'll before we go home, we'll tell you again what we got going on tomorrow night. But can I be spicy one more time before we go home? So look at all the series scaz in the NBA right now. Minnesota up 2-0, right? Denver with a big comeback win over the Lakers, up 2-0. See what Oklahoma City did tonight? Up 2-0. And where are the Celtics? 1-1. 1-1. The other teams are doing their jobs. The other teams are prepared, well coached, shooting well, playing tough. The Celtics, again, can't defend their home court. And I'm now out on home court advantage when it comes to the playoffs. You would think it matters. You would think it matters. It doesn't. Another one I got here. In the regular season, the Celtics were 30-3 when Drew Holiday scored at least 13 points. Do you know they were 23-13 when he scored less than 13 points? He had 6 points in Game 1 and 9 in Game 2 versus Miami. All I'm asking for is 13 points by Drew Holiday. 13 points. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need 20. I don't need 20. Also, what's the Celtics record now when it comes to playing at home? Because I'll tell you, it's not good. Oh, hey, can you remember a home team that's been this bad playing at home? Just awful. Absolutely awful the way that they play at home.
That's a spicy meatball.
It's very spicy. Might go eat a spicy meatball. So tomorrow night, guys, you're going to be back here tonight. Tonight. When is it? Tomorrow, but it's tonight. It's still Wednesday, but it's really going to be Thursday in like a minute. So we'll be live from Splitsville, myself, Alex Barth. We're going to have some other guests as well. I know those guys are going to be bouncing around. Who knows? And, you want my prediction for tomorrow night? Who they're going to select? They're going to take Drake May. You know why? Because it's the safest pick on the board. The whole field calls and making trades, they're not going to do it. They're going to take Drake May. I think they want Jaden Daniels. They're going to take the next best guy available. If they do make a trade, it'll be for J.J. McCarthy. Moving down. All right, that's it for tonight. Scaz, great job. We were undermanned tonight. We powered through it better than the Celtics did.